Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to rotate through early and mid game and how to establish some different loot paths or resource paths that you may need depending on what you cannot get within your dropping POI. That way when you're rotating you kind of have something in mind of what you're going to, and you can get some paths that you are very comfortable with, so when it does happen that maybe somebody will come and try to fight you, you're going to be ready and you're going to understand the area much better than they will. The most important route to get set up is if you don't have enough mats coming out of your POI. Now, for example, here I don't have enough brick, and for the most part, you're going to have a lot of wood, so I like to focus on getting routes set up that have a lot of metal or brick. Now, for the most part, we have a lot of different ways we can go. We have geysers that spawn right outside of Paradise over here, as well as we do have rifts, so there's a lot of mobility that can get us a good area around Paradise. So we have a lot of different options. For brick, we typically like to go to the rock field here. As well, we can head up through here as there's a lot of rocks spread around if zone has to push us up, or we can farm out a couple houses in these areas. And for the most part, it's really easy to get max brick if we don't get it capped out in Paradise. As well, we like to prioritize metal here, so for the most part, we never really run out. But if we have to, we can always rotate down to Dusty, because by the time we get there, a lot of players have already rotated out. So we just kind of grab a couple fences and typically get the rest that we may need, and then we can just easily rotate out. Now, a resource path isn't the only one you need to set up. I recommend getting a very good loot path that you can loot outside of your main POI, because a lot of times you might not come out with the shield or guns you may need, or maybe you have a couple open slots. Paradise, like I said, has a great range of mobility. As you can see, I can make it all the way to Dusty basically, but for the most part, if we see none of this is unlooted, we could drop here and then geyser over even farther in. But for the most part, these three houses right here are typically always unlooted, especially in duos where it's not really a great landing spot for a duo to land. We can usually get a chest in each house, as well as a vending machine will spawn right here, and the geyser here will let us go on through to wherever we would like, and basically gets us to that same height we would if we were coming off the rift. Once you do go to those mid-game scenarios, it's important to find where the middle of the zone is. So if I zoom in here and say zones in a circle like this, I want to be over in this area right towards the center, because that's going to give me the best chance of being in the next zone, or at least very close to it. Now, one thing that I recommend is, because it is mid-game and you don't want to burn through mats, especially with the 500 mat cap, I like to find somewhere that I can kind of harvest mats and then reuse the mats from that build to then make a base out of. Something like this would typically work. It's not a whole lot, but ideally you want to go for something big, as that'll give you a bigger area to run around in and more protection if somebody does start spraying out your builds, and it will give you a little bit excess mats as well if somebody starts spraying out your builds that you can replace and still not lose out on mats. Alright, that is going to wrap up the video there, guys. I hope you did enjoy. I am going to be talking more in depth about late game rotating in a couple of days here, whenever I get the right footage that I think will fit the video. So look out for that. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys all in the next one.